Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Crimes, Killers, Cults, and
And beer.
Beer. And if you're watching on the video, you might notice something looks a little bit different on my end. That's because over the past,
Your face.
I had some work done. I had some lifts done. It make me devastatingly good looking like Luca Magnotta. Huh?
I'd go on botched if I were you. I'd go on
Okay.
botched if I were you.
Or at least get a refund.
Yeah.
No, yeah, life happened in a very bad way, and that's kind of where we've been and everything. My life just basically imploded all around me, and as a result, I had to get to take an over-the-road trucking job. And right now, this is the first CKCB episode I've ever done that wasn't in Florida. Right now, I'm in Gulfport, Mississippi. I've got my little mobile studio here set up, as you can kind of see. I'm actually sitting in the sleeper of my truck with a really cool. I kind of like how the that's a T-shirt behind me. It kind of looks like a like a like a projection or something.
A lit up sign.
You know, it looks pretty cool. But now it's just a T-shirt with a light shining directly at it. But yeah.
Hey, whatever works, right?
And I gotta address the previous episode. The one about the Air Force captain that got murdered. Actually, Sandra, you weren't on that one.
Oh, good.
No.
So I didn't get the bad
No,
review.
but we got a 1 star, and it was talking about like gaps in it where there was nothing along with vape hits and stuff like that. And I've been pretty good at editing those out lately. But I uploaded a draft, not the final copy. That's my fault. But still, guys like, well, I didn't want to leave a negative review, but here we are. Well, you know what, dude? You didn't say anything about the content. You're just bitching about vape hits and a couple, dead spots or whatever. Deal with it. Damn, there's nothing I can do about that one because I mislabeled the 2 files and I accidentally deleted the master copy thinking that I was deleting the draft, and I uploaded the draft which was labeled as the master. So, oops. No.
Is it in your recycle bin?
No, and the thing is I
mean, seriously,
no,
or did you
no, it's
perma-delete
gone.
it?
It's just gone. I mean, it's the draft is on my external hard drive, saved as the original, as the master. But I did this before I left several weeks ago, and I scheduled it. I scheduled the release. So I did that while I was still at home. So I mean, it just uploaded automatically at the designated time, and there was nothing I could do about it. So I get this 1 star review, and I'm like, wait a minute. I go back and listen to it, and yeah, sure enough, I uploaded the wrong one. Oops. It's happened one other time. That's happened one other time, but I caught it, and I hadn't deleted the other file yet. So I was able to rush in there. It was even worse. What had happened was I had because Todd and I were doing them separately. It was just audio only. This was long before we'd started doing video, and he sent me his file, or actually he was doing the editing at that point. I sent him my file. He uploads it and everything, sends it back to me, or he edits it and then sends it back to me, and I uploaded it. Didn't even think about listening to it, but then all he did was upload his file. It's like, oops, but
well, well, word to the wise, maybe don't delete the draft until
that was over 2 years
like,
ago. I think, I mean, this is the first time that it's happened since.
Well, I mean, recently you just did. Like, don't delete the draft? I don't know.
Well, we kind of got a fun one. We got a fun one for you today. It's a potpourri episode, but those are fun. And we're covering killers who got busted as a result of their own stupidity. So,
woo! There are a lot of them. We covered a few of those.
Yeah, think about BTK and his floppy disk. Although we're not covering BTK because there's 3 freaking episodes about BTK in our selection, in our catalog.
Gotta be careful when you say the word disk and floppy.
No, a floppy disk was this little thing that had like a tiny little bit of memory on it and everything. It was a little disk and everything. And the big ones, they were like this when they first came out in like the 80s, and you could literally flop them. That's hence the term floppy disk. Then they shrunk them down a little bit to
I
about like that size,
Bill,
about maybe 3 by 3 or whatever. But you couldn't really
I
floppy
know.
them.
I know. Well, yeah.
But if you have
Hey, but I digress
if you
story.
have a problem with
Long
something
time
floppy
ago.
right now, I mean this isn't the podcast for that type of talk.
That's what I was saying. No, the well, I digress story, but funny story. Um, a while ago, I used to work with a teacher she was about to retire, but she'd taught for like 30 years. And she taught a computer class, like a typing class and stuff like that back, when they kind of did that thing. And she was in a middle school, and they had, hard disks or floppy disks, to save their work on. And at the end of class, she had a Freudian slip. She told the children, she said, "Okay, everybody, we need to start packing up. Everyone needs to, take your dicks
so,
out
so all the
and
guys got up.
and shut down." And and when she said it, I guess one of the kids was like, "What'd you say, miss?" And she's like, "I said take your disc out. What do you think I said?" And he's like, "Oh, okay." But I'm like, "Good save, good save." But I could see some of the girls being like, "Miss, I don't have a dick to take out. I don't do."
Hashtag not going there.
Eh, it was just pretty funny. I was like, "Oh, that's a good one." Every once in a while. Or, I think an old guidance counselor at my school once was telling students in an assembly to make sure that they kept their grades up. And they said, "A lot of students just like to, you know, like think that a D is passing. They just like to ride that D all the way to the," and she kept saying it too. Like, I'm like, "Stop saying ride the D in a middle school assembly. Stop." Of course, all the kids are snickering, all the teachers were going, "Oh my god, here we go. Ride the D, everyone.
Or don't. So
Don't ride the D." No.
all right, first we're gonna start with Arthur Shawcross, the Genesee River Killer. He was an American serial killer active in
Mm,
Rochester, New York, and he was convicted of murder very early in his life, and he got out, but he still racked up a high number of victims, some of which who were children. He was sentenced to initially to 25 years for the killing of a 10-year-old, which should have been it for him. But due to a huge blunder,
yeah.
he was deemed no longer to be a threat to anybody. Yeah. And so he was.
Seems
How many
legit.
years do you think he
I
served?
I've only murdered a few children. Uh,
Well,
oh, I don't
he
know.
was
In our
sentenced to
justice,
25. Huh?
let me six,
He only served
six,
14.
6.
Although
Ah,
he was indeed not a threat to anybody else. Because after he was released, he killed 12 women,
mm.
and he was getting away with it too. He didn't leave any evidence behind. He didn't leave clues or anything like that.
And I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't
Well,
for you
actually,
meddling. What?
in the case of these guys, it's their own meddling that did them in. But Richard Keppel, a retired detective, told police that they were giving the killer too much credit, and this does seem to be the case, judging by how he was caught. By the way, I don't think any of the I've had these notes typed up for like a month. I don't think I don't think that any of the ones that are on here are ones that we've covered. However, we're probably going to cover the majority of them at some point for their own episodes. But But police proceeded to wait at a scene where the killer had dumped the body, suspecting that he would return at some point. And sure enough, they were right, and they found their killer. Arthur was pissing at the scene of the crime. They they put on helicopter surveillance, photographing him eating his lunch over the body of one of his victims, and he was subsequently arrested, convicted, and spent the rest of his life in prison. Yeah, and
Eating his
pissing.
lunch? Uh, and pissing.
I don't
Not at the
know.
same time,
It
hopefully,
doesn't
yeah.
say if there was a possum there or not. That was
Oh, it was a possum, right? Not a raccoon?
there. So, yeah, go back to the OMG It's Wix episode. That was a great episode. Possum was the kind of a running joke throughout the entire episode. One of our
Yeah.
funnest episodes we've ever done, ever. Funnest.
Funnest? Funnest?
Yeah, my words, I make them up. Now, this next
Okay.
one is one that we're not going to be covering because this guy is a lying sack of shit. This guy told so many
Okay.
lies. He told so many lies about who he had killed and whatnot that it would make Henry Lee Lucas blush. Richard Kuklinski. Yeah, the Iceman.
Kuklinski. That's a fun name to say.
It's C-U-K, not it's
Kuklinski?
K-U-K, not C-U-K. Although he's a C-O-O-K though, or K-O-O-K. Kook, a kook,
Oh,
a kook.
kook? Cook.
But I'm just going to go ahead and read what's here because now I was listening to another podcast. They did a 5-part series on Richard Kuklinski, and the first episode, it was True Crime Kent. But the first episode, he was like talking about how intense of a story this guy was, intense of a killer. But before he
Was he making
no, but
Soylent Green or
before
something like that?
he made up all these stories about him being a mafia hitman and all that stuff, and the mafia had never heard of him. Now and it's like everything in the first 4 episodes of his 5-episode series was all bullshit, all shit that he made up. He did kill 4 people, and that's what he went down for. But all of his other stories and everything were all made up. And he was going from a book, and the author of the book was just as much of a kook as Kuklinski was. And some of the quotes from Kuklinski were actually taken right out of various movies. I even recognized some of them that they were reading. And so anyway, yeah, fuck this guy.
Fuck that
No,
guy.
but the way they did the episode was kind of brilliant because what they did, like in the opening of the second part, they're like, this guy's full of shit. So we're just going to cover it as I had it, as I have it written out. We're going to cover it as if it was a real story, but then we're going to tell you why each one of these things is full of shit. So it was a really entertaining series. Yeah,
Well, that's
but
the only thing you can do. I mean, when everything is shit, you can't really, just got to be like, everything here is shit. We're going to tell you all the shit, and
yeah,
then we'll tell you the real shit.
everything's shit. We're going to tell you. That's funny, but no, but they did a really it was a really entertaining episode. And now I had heard that some of his things that he had done were, you know, like not necessarily true or whatever. I had heard that, but I didn't know everything was bullshit except but
Right.
anyway, some of the things that he did, uh, he was a quintessential middle class New York or New Jersey man, and he was arrested December 17th, 1986. And it would also be revealed that he also a very prolific professional hitman. Or no, he wasn't. He wasn't.
Was he?
Authorities suspecting they had a serious.
Well, I don't know, man. The best hitman would never be
Well,
known as a hitman, right? That
like
would be the best case
DeMeo,
scenario, wouldn't it?
I can't remember the guy's first name, but he was a hitman. None of his associates, he claimed to be like this guy's number one man, and everything. And none of DeMeo's associates had anything to do. Like, I've never even heard this guy. Who is this guy? But and and
Give me
every
ham
every
on
every
5, hold the
associate
mayo.
that he allegedly was said to that he said that he was working with was dead. How convenient. So.
He killed them all. He was a really good hitman.
But that this information is going on, on the assumption that he actually was who he said that he was. So but um he was suspected of 5 murders, like in the 80s, starting in like 1980. And they wired up an ATF agent and had him go undercover as a street criminal with a fictional background story. That he his he was a fictional hitman. The ATF agent. But instead of figuring out the ruse,
Mhm.
McClinsky began boasting about the creative ways that he had snuffed out victims, and his admissions were all being recorded.
Mm.
So it was his need to brag about his crimes that put him behind bars. But he was still sentenced. He still got 4 life sentences for the 4 people that he actually did kill. So he was a serial killer, but he just wasn't this badass boogeyman like he wanted everybody to think that he was. Well, yeah,
Was he a
he did
serial
kill 4
killer?
people. You got to kill 3 to be a serial killer. Yeah, he did.
Did he?
Those 4 are confirmed.
Okay. Okay. 'Cause I'm like, I don't know. Was he lying
No,
about that shit too? Was he a serial killer wannabe? Like,
no, he actually was a serial killer. He just was not this boogeyman that he wanted everybody to think he was. All right, this next one
fair.
is one that we've been trying to get you and History Goon together on. Israel Keys.
Oh,
So he had 3 murders confirmed, although the number is likely 8 plus. And he admitted to various murders that he hadn't been charged with, 4 in Washington, 1 in New York, as well as others. He was a serial killer, often, he was also a rapist, arsonist, burglar, a burglar, and a bank robber. 2012, he kidnapped 18-year-old Samantha Koenig. He raped her and killed her the following day, and he took her credit card. He was demanding a $30,000 ransom to be transferred, you know, in exchange for her release. He was apparently unaware of the well-known
mm,
fact that ATMs are always equipped with cameras and banks always keep records of transactions that are made. And he casually used her debit card as he traveled throughout the Southwest United States. And this obviously made him very easy to track down.
mm.
So, yeah, he
What? Why wouldn't you just like force someone else to go to the ATM for you? Like, like, I yeah, listen, take this card and go to the ATM and withdraw this much money, or I'll shoot you. Just scare somebody, and then they go to the ATM, give you the money, and
oh,
then
you'd
you
have to kill
leave. I
that
mean,
person too.
not necessarily if you hide your face if they don't
So
know who you are. I mean, hey, you
he
don't
left
necessarily have to
breadcrumbs
kill them.
behind for the police to
Mhm.
find, and yeah, but he was never convicted. He committed suicide while awaiting trial. Now this guy, he would go all over the place. He would bury 5-gallon buckets containing like cash, guns, and stuff like that, and it just bury them at different spots in the United States. And there's no some of them have been found, but there's no telling. There could be a bucket buried somewhere in your town.
Oh, so start digging around, everybody. There could be some buckets of money and guns.
The storm's here.
We'll please everybody with money and guns.
The
Oh,
storm
yeah.
is here, and a big gust just. If it looks like I'm moving, it's because the truck just got hit by a big gust of wind. Yeah, it's because
You are?
yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not an earthquake. It's just a huge wind gust coming off the Gulf of Mexico. Next up, we're going to Scotland. Scotland.
Scotland.
Dennis Nilsen. He was a Scottish.
Let me guess, it was Nessie. Nessie
and she
in the
needs
parlor.
and he gonna need about 350, about 350, 350.
350. $3.50.
I say, "Hey, boss, I
350.
don't need that 350. I
Yeah,
ain't
I
giving you no
giving
damn
you no damn
350."
350.
This is
If I ever go to Scotland, I'm holding $3.50 at
damn
Loch
right.
Ness and taking a picture of it. Like, come on, monster!
Got your 350
Got
right
you a
here.
350.
Oh god. I'm gonna find out what episode that was and watch it tonight, after I finish editing this episode. Which one
I
was
know
it?
exactly what one it was.
Oh,
It
okay.
was the succubus
Awesome.
episode.
I'm gonna watch that tonight.
Uh, I believe it was like season 7 or something. Oh,
By the way,
so
the new season of Dexter is
yeah, it was a
freaking
succubus.
amazing. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. Oh, and
Yeah,
one of the bad guys
I really
in
got
this
to watch it.
series was modeled after somebody that we've covered on this show. Danny Rolling.
Hmm. By the way, it was
Yeah.
season 3,
That's
episode 3.
that's still one of the
It was
funniest
an early
episodes they've ever
episode.
done. But
Goddamn succubus trying to
but he
take
was
my
a
baby.
Scottish serial killer, and he operated between 1978 and 83. He would kill. He was a gay man, and he was known as the I think he was known as the Scottish Dahmer. But then again,
Okay. Or Scottish Topper with Bottomer. Wait, no.
but he killed
Okay.
12 young men and boys, and Nilsen, he, he was also known as the Muswell Hill murderer, and he would lure the young men to his North London home where he would strangle and or drown them. He would bathe and dress the bodies and keep them in his home for a time before disposing of them, much like Jeffrey Dahmer. It was the disposal of the
Hmm.
bodies that tripped Nilsen up that got him caught. So, what do you think that he did?
Uh, you leave them out on the front porch a little too long, put them in the trash can out front, put them in a
Nope.
dumpster in the complex,
Nope.
keep them in his trunk. Ah, I'm not guessing this episode. I don't know. What do you do?
um, he burned some. No,
Weekend at Bernie's
although he
them?
was
What?
doing that in his house for a while though, before they got to smelling too bad. But some of them he burned in bonfires, and others he hid in the
Ugh.
floorboards of his home. He later moved into an attic apartment, which that made it really hard for him to dispose of victims. So he started dissecting the bodies and flushing them down the toilet.
Oh, when you get to the head, that's a
Yeah,
little more difficult,
and if you're going to smash it
right?
to
God.
small enough bits, that's going to make an awful lot of noise, especially if you're in an attic apartment. Not to mention, if you missed that, that sledgehammer is going right through the floor.
I can't get this femur down the toilet. Keep trying.
But bizarrely,
Oh.
Nilsen um, Nilsen was actually complaining about the plumbing being blocked. It's like, you did it, you dumbass.
When they go through the plumbing and pull out a hand, it's like, yeah, I really had to go last night.
Plumbers were
The
called
big one.
in, and they moved a drain cover on the side of the
Ugh.
house, and they discovered small bones and pieces of flesh. Nelson thought that he was smart. You know, he would get away with it because he went to and got KFC and flushed some KFC bones down there so that they would think somebody was was dumping chicken. But nah, there was yeah, right.
How dare he? He flushed some cave.
Now, I don't
Oh.
care if it was KFC, but if it was Publix, then we'd have a problem. Because everybody knows Publix has the best
Mm,
fried chicken.
eh, I like KFC.
I don't
I like their
dislike
mashed
KFC,
potatoes.
but I love me some Publix fried chicken. In fact, damn it, I wish I was in Florida right now. I'd have some Instacarted over to me. But so the police were called, and Nilsen was eventually arrested, and he was sentenced to life in prison and died in prison in 2018. So the lesson here is don't flush bodies down the toilet. They're not going to fit.
Bury them in the yard like a normal person. Ugh.
Um, Next up, we have Maury Travis, and this is one that I had never heard about until I was researching. He was a suspected serial killer. He was arrested for 2 murders and confessed to 17, although the true number is still in dispute. Travis was caught after his local newspaper ran a story about the disappearance and murder of one victim that, who happened to be a guy that he had some beef with. So, I mean,
Mm.
if you're going to be a serial killer, don't go after people that you have beef with, because that's going to come right back to you very quickly.
Send a
Like
good hitman
Kuklinski,
after
yeah.
him, like what's his face?
Forget about it.
Right, Kuklinski, yes.
When police investigated Travis's home, they found what was described as a torture chamber in the basement full of bondage equipment and other tools. And there are also videotapes detailing his crimes. When was this? Doesn't say. But this was in
Kinky.
St.
Mhm.
Louis. But this could this be a copycat of David Parker Ray, the toy box killer?
Could be.
But
I mean, he didn't
no,
have
but
as elaborate of
he
a
had a
setup, I
basement.
guess, it was just in a basement,
Yeah.
like
So, but after the St. Louis Post Dispatch wrote an article about one of his victims, Travis wrote them a letter saying that he could show them where plenty more bodies were. He included a map in the letter that he printed from
Mm.
Expedia.com.
It'd be funny if you printed him a map to a cemetery. That would be my horrible sense of humor. It'd be like, "Yeah, I can show you
Yeah.
where there's a lot of buried bodies.
Law
Right
enforcement
right
was
right
able
here.
to trace that map back
Cemetery."
to Travis's computer and arrest him. Pretty much the exact same way they caught BTK off of his floppy disk. Yeah.
His disc
He
people.
committed suicide in
Disc.
custody before he was able to stand trial. Yeah, I think that we might that if
Mm.
there's a lot of information, I think I'd like to cover this guy. And plus maps, I mean, makes me think of those freaking god awful Star Wars sequels for 2 of the movies centered around a lost map. A map, ooh, a map. That's
Mm.
lazy writing. If you have to
Ooh.
use if you have a map to find somebody, that's lazy. That's just pure lazy. The the
I mean, d- how else do you find somebody? I mean, it's not like they, could look them up on Facebook or anything back in Star
well,
Wars.
they had a map to Luke Skywalker with 2 separate pieces. R2D2 had one, BB-8 had the other. And it's like, okay, if you look at one, the one with the hole in it, just go to where the hole is. Just go where the hole in the first map is. That's all you got to do. You don't need the other piece of the map.
What if he just
And then,
dropped it or something?
and then,
Like I have these 10 commandments. I mean, like what,
and
like what
then
if
in
you
the third
dropped a
movie,
few
then
and
in the third one of the sequels and everything, they found this dagger that was fashioned thousands and thousands of years ago. That you pulled this little thing out and it would line up perfectly with debris from the Death Star floating in the ocean. But the dagger was made thousands and thousands of years ago, and it would line up with debris from the Death Star thousands and thousands and thousands of years later, and it would just that was even dumber than the first one.
hmm. Are you sure it
It
was
was like
thousands of
10,000 years.
years?
The dagger had been made 10,000 years prior. They said that. It was when they fell into the quicksand. They had that had a roof.
Mm,
The quicksand's just sitting there leveling, and they fall through it and
right.
into this cavern underground and everything, and this quicksand's just up there on top of them, and everything just kind of sitting there.
This sounds
No,
like
I'm
Indiana
not.
Jones, like you're
No, I'm
mixing
not.
Indiana Jones and Star Wars. I don't know.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you
Nope.
are. You totally are. Snakes. Why
Uh-oh.
did it have to be snakes? I
Tablet just okay.
bet you are.
It was just oh no, my tablet just went out. Uh-oh. Okay, I got it. I got it back.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Now I gotta find my place again. Next, we got Earl Leonard Nelson, the Gorilla Strangler, and I think I have a book on him. I
Like
think I do. I'm not sure. No,
he was
that's just what
strangling
his name.
gorillas, or was this like the man
He
and the
was.
gorilla fighting?
I think he was
One man
built.
and a
I think he was
gorilla who would
built like a
win?
gorilla. This is just a big, huge monster of a man or whatever. I think, but I'm pretty
Got
sure I
it.
have a book on
Mhm.
him. So especially if I have a book on him, that's definitely somebody we'll be covering at some point. But I've got it. I've got about 12 or 15 books that I haven't even opened yet.
I don't think you've ever read a
How
book,
many
have you?
episodes do I have? lots of them. Lots of them came from books.
I don't know. I was I was unaware you could read.
I read
That's
my
why.
notes every damn episode that we do. Yeah.
Do you? Do you really? I don't know. I don't know about that. I think it's fake.
Oh, an AI podcast.
Fake news.
All right. The
Right.
Gorilla Strangles. See, I'm reading. See, the Gorilla Strangler Earl Nelson was a cross-state serial sex killer who murdered between 22 and 29 women in 1926 and in 1927. Damn, he was busy. Um,
Mm.
his is a grimly fascinating tale, one of which ends in the most ridiculous of ways. I think definitely. I think we're going to fast track this guy once I can get back home and find that book. 2 days after killing victim Emily Patterson, he was spotted at the post office and arrested. He was recognized when a detailed description was put out after a hairdresser worked out who he was. Nelson had gone in for a trim and a tidy up after killing Emily, mostly because the brave woman fought back and tore some of his hair out. Amongst the bald patches, there was specks of dried blood, which freaked out the barber. Like, oh man, yeah, take a bath.
Couldn't even
Damn.
wash it first, like or rinse. Now this is my blood. Most of it
Yeah.
anyway. Like, don't worry.
No, I was hunting deer. Yeah, this is deer blood. Deer blood is more like more purplish.
That
It's not
mm,
red or crimson. It's more of like a purplish. Well,
what?
it's a different shade. It's a different shade. It's not like Anyway, showbiz,
I think you're wrong on that, Bill, but okay.
showbiz. That's how we do it in
Eh.
Hollywood. Next up, obviously, is Albert Fish. Showbiz, obvious. Yeah.
Obviously.
Uh,
Obviously. Mm.
Most people that listen to true crime podcasts would totally get that reference. Showbiz, that's how we do it in Hollywood, as being Albert Fish right off the bat without me even saying the name. So, much the same way that Dennis Rader, BTK, sought to recapture some of the thrill with sneering and vile communication after the event, the werewolf of Wisteria, Albert Fish, inadvertently snitched on himself. November 1934, a distraught woman by the name of Delia Flanagan received a letter at her home in Irvington, New York about her missing daughter, Grace Budd, and it was not good news. Fish had killed and eaten the 10-year-old, and he explained how he did in very gory detail. And police later ascertained that the murder claim was it was legit. He had indeed murdered the girl. Whether or not he ate her could never be fully proven, but it seems possible, if not likely. None of Gracie's remains were ever found, and but how do you think he was tracked down?
Mm. Oh, I gotta think about that. Huh? See, I mean, say he tattled on himself. Hmm.
He was writing letters.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe he sent a letter to someone and they knew came from his address or something like that, where he actually
Well, this
told someone he killed her, and it was like right back to his
close.
address. I don't know.
The stationery that he used had NYPCBA printed at the top of it, representing the New York Private Chauffeurs Benevolent Association. It didn't take long for police to find Fish using his description and link it back to that organization. He wasn't a member of it, but he had yeah, I don't remember exactly how it did that. And I have Albert Fish in here again. No,
Did you put
it's
how
the
it
exact
happened there?
it's the exact
Show
same
more
thing that I
notes.
had
Brave.
before. Um, Next up
Oh,
is Lonnie David Franklin, the Grim Sleeper. Los Angeles police
mm,
had the DNA of the Grim Sleeper who killed at least 10 women over a span of 30 years, but they couldn't connect it to anybody until 2008. That was when a young man who was arrested on weapons charges popped up in a database as a relative. Narrowing down the likely suspects from the man's family tree, they started trailing his father, whose saliva um, was retrieved from a slice of pizza in a trash can. And that's what did him in. Good old DNA. Dumbass
mm,
DNA.
some pizza.
Instead of dino DNA, dumbass DNA.
Dino DNA. Ah,
Yeah.
the pizza did him in. Oh.
Okay, next we have Daniel Drayton. Now we have prison tender, but now we have yeah,
We always love prison
but now we
Tinder.
have a tender killer.
Funny enough, when I was on Tinder a while back, there was a dude taking pictures and he's like, I'm in prison right now. And he matched me and I went, nah, nah. I I really would. I'm like, how did you take pictures in your cell? Like, I guess
I
they let you have
know.
your phone nowadays. I don't know. It was weird to me. In all white.
But but
Eh,
Daniel
mm,
Drayton was arrested for holding a woman captive that he had met on Tinder. And it didn't take him too long to connect him with other victims as well. I mean, all of these people, all these victims, um, they were all in his Tinder history. They had all reported that somebody that they had matched with did something to him, and a couple of them, had turned up dead. And they were all he hadn't deleted his the people, his messages and stuff like that. So they were all in his history and Tinder.
no, you can't track anything you put on a computer. I mean, come
Yeah,
on.
you
All
can't trace a
untraceable.
floppy disk.
Mm,
You're safe, Dennis.
yes. Eh.
But yeah, so
Oh.
be careful out there because you might wind up matching with Daniel Drayton if you're shopping around on prison tender.
Oh well. Wait, wasn't there was a killer that
Yeah,
was
Rodney
on, what is
Alcala.
it, the dating game?
Yeah, I think I've got a book on him too.
Yeah. I mean, you're not even safe on a TV
Oh, and you
show.
can
I
hear the
mean,
video of him on there, and it's just so creepy. Some of the questions because they went creepy back in the '70s on that show, and just hearing some of his answers.
Where would you like to make
um,
whoopee?
some of his, I mean, I can't remember anything right off the top of my head, but I remember hearing some of the audio and being like, "Oh my god, this is so cringe," and just thinking about the double meaning of of how he answered. You know,
If you were gonna have a romantic evening with me, what would you do? Oh, well, I'd baste you. I mean, slather you in oil, like cooking oil. I mean, massage oil and it's huh, huh.
yeah.
Yeah, let's go with that one. Let's go with number one.
Next up, we have a man who liked taking orders from a dog. Take a guess. Come on, this is a big time, well known heavy hitter.
I don't know. You're acting like I'm good with names.
David Berkowitz, the
I'm
son of
not.
Sam. Oh, yeah, that guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, but no, I'm not good with names. Yeah. Hmm.
And it was his
Heard of
parking
him.
tickets. He got a bunch of parking tickets and he never paid them.
I have unpaid parking tickets. Be
he
gentle.
he committed the parking violation while shooting one of his victims, Robert Violante. And the ticket, along with the testimony of an eyewitness, was enough to finger Berkowitz and give the NYPD evidence to get a warrant to search his apartment, where they found even more evidence and everything. So, yeah, pay your parking tickets. Or don't if you're going to be a serial killer. Don't pay them.
Or don't park where you need to actually
Right.
pay to park so if you need to shoot somebody,
Well,
right?
this is New York City. I don't think there's a free parking space anywhere in that city.
True.
Next up, we got Joel Rifkin. Between the years of 89 and 93, Joel Rifkin killed 17 young women in New York City and Long Island, although there's probably more. Um, he was known to dismember the bodies of his victims, of course, most of which were sex workers. He would even go so far as to remove their fingertips and teeth. And they could have continued for longer. The killings could have continued for longer if he would have properly checked his pickup truck. um,
Mm-mm.
in 1993, during the summer, Rifkin was driving down Southern State Parkway in New York without a license plate. He instantly caught the attention of the police, and following a high-speed chase which ended with Rifkin colliding directly into a pole outside of a courthouse. Police detected a foul-smelling odor coming from the back of the truck, and
Convenient.
inside inside the back of the truck, they discovered the body of 22-year-old Tiffany Bersani, who was the then girlfriend of David Rubenstein of the 80s punk rock band, the Reagan Youth.
That's not my body, officer. Uh, I didn't
On,
put it back there.
yeah. Murder Madam Murder Coaster loves punk. I'm surprised they haven't covered Rifkin yet, just because of the Reagan Youth tie. But next, we're going to the Ukraine with Andrei Chikatilo. He was the butcher. He was known as the Butcher of Rostov. He was known for assault, murder, and mutilation of at least 52 women and children between 1978 and 1990. The trial the trail of mutilated bodies left no question that a crazed serial killer was on the loose. Uniformed police were placed at the rail stations in Rostov in order to deter any murderer that was looking to strike. There were also several undercover agents instructed to question anybody who appeared suspicious. Altogether, more than 360 police were manning the stations during the manhunt. In November of 1990, Chikatilo was washing his hands and face in a well at a nearby train station when he was approached by an agent. Chikatilo had not washed his face properly, and there was a red smear on his cheek, and his um this says and his name was noted. Um And then when the body of his 36th victim was discovered in the woodlands nearby, Chikatilo was arrested, and 4 years later he was executed for his crimes. Take a guess how? Yep,
How he was executed? Mm. Where was he executed?
the
What state?
Ukraine.
Oh, in the Ukraine? Oh, they probably
Pretty
just gave him
much.
a cigarette and shot him. Uh,
Single gunshot to the head. So I think that's one that you've
yeah.
gotten right this entire episode.
Hey. Yes, I know about capital punishment in other countries. Yay.
Yeah, and that's another one. That's another one. The gorilla got brought down because of blood smeared on him because he didn't wash his face, and Andre Chikatilo, the same thing. Andre Chikatilo was also famously, he was he suffered from the condition known as shamecock. In other words, impotence.
Uh, oh. Mm.
His disc,
So he had
yes,
a
it was
problem with his
floppy.
disc. Yeah, yeah. Mm.
But that,
It's
huh?
Badum.
Yeah.
Badum.
I'm not gonna use the sound effects while I'm doing this. I don't want it. It's been going fine. I don't want to jinx it. So, but anyway, that's what I got. That's what I got. Yeah, bunch of people that thought that they were smart as hell and realized how that was not actually the case. They were not smart. They were dumb.
Eh. Well, eventually someone's got to trip up, right?
Yeah.
You get too cocky, with your disc, and can't have can't do it
Yeah, I
anymore.
definitely recommend if you haven't heard. Make sure definitely, if you haven't heard these episodes yet, check out the 3 parts of BTK as well as Prison Tender and Prison Tender 2 because they're relevant to today's episode. And yeah, I definitely recommend the BTK series because I'm quite proud of that. And um but anyway, been Doug to do the beer of the week segment. I haven't seen either of you in a while. What's going on, man? I'm doing
Not much, Bill. How you doing?
like the mobile studio.
All right. All right. Yeah. It's definitely different, but yeah, like it. All right. So yeah, for today, got a little bit of a beer with a story behind it. Haven't had one of these on in a while. Normally it's just beer, pour, drink. This one actually has a story behind it. So recently for my birthday, I was down in Pompano Beach and I hit up a few breweries over there. And I came across one called 26 Degree Brewing. I'm assuming that's because of the longitude latitude area. They're 26 degrees north, whatnot. So, but 26 Degree Brewing, and this one kind of caught my eye. Just like the normal beers I have, it is a darker beer. It is a bourbon barrel aged stout. But it is called Zico's
It looks like
Rage.
a drunk. It looks like a drunk retired Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Right. So apparently, this beer, this is the bourbon barrel aged version, but they have a regular version as well. But this was named after a loggerhead turtle that was discovered off Juno Beach in Florida, and they rescued it. The Marine Life Center in Juno Beach rescued it, and most loggerhead turtles are very docile and very easygoing. Apparently, not this one. This one they named Zico, and he was 70 pounds of biting fury. is what they said. If you didn't watch yourself, you could lose an arm. And he was very violent.
Was he raised by alligator
So,
snapping turtles?
Apparently. So, but this brewery, to honor that turtle and apparently his rage that he had, which is very different from a lagerhead, they named a beer after him called Zico's Rage. And again, this is the bourbon barrel aged version of that beer from
Nice.
26 Degree Brewing. So let me go ahead and open it up here, and we'll give it a pour. So we got our glass here. Again, bourbon barrel aged stout, so
Motor
it's
oil.
going to be dark. It's got a nice head. Yeah, it's got a nice
As
head
black
on
as
it.
your nails.
Yep. But yeah, very nice head on it. Looks really good. Oh man, the chocolate and the malt just immediately. I'm not getting very much of the bourbon in this, probably in the taste, but on the nose, definitely chocolate and malt. Apparently there is dark and milk chocolate in this. There's I believe let's see what else is in this. Dark chocolate, milk chocolate, dates, and some other light fruit notes, dried dates. But yeah, oh man, this smells amazing. Very, very good. Very sweet. This could almost be a dessert beer, in my opinion, of how sweet it is. But the bourbon really comes through on the back end. That is where the bourbon is at, and it is there. Trust me, it is there. Very sweet, very malty, also roasty as well. The roast is on the front end of the tasting, and the bourbon is on the back end. But yeah, this is a very,
Yeah, it looks
very
as thick
good
as
beer.
motor oil too.
It is, yeah. This is right up my alley. It is 9.2% on the ABV scale. 9.2, which is kind of on the lighter side compared to the ones that I normally have. Usually my sweet range is like between 12 and 15. That's where my go-to for especially dark stouts. That's where I normally sit. So it's a little on the lighter side, but still heavy hitting, 9.2. An 82 score on beeradvocate.com, which is where I get all my beer reviews and such from, but an 82 for the score, which is high, 82 out of 100. The regular version, funny enough, has an 85, which I thought was kind of weird. Like the regular version of this has an 85, and it's probably because it's more mass produced. Like I think this was a special release that they did with the bourbon barrel version. But the regular version was an 85, the bourbon barrel was an 82. So, but yeah, definitely a lot of chocolate and a lot of sweetness and malt on the nose, and then the bourbon and everything else on the front end.
You mean back end?
Yes, the back end of the taste. Yes. So, now I will say one announcement that I do have is coming up in October. For any shows we have later in October or in November, I will be attending GABF this year, Great American Beer Fest in Colorado, and I hope to come back with some beers from that we can try on the show. So just giving the viewers a heads up about that, and I will be there sampling beers and such from all over
I
the
need
U.S.
to get
for Great
on
American
the ball
Beer Fest.
and make you up a couple T-shirts to take with you, as well as get you some stickers and stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'd be happy to mark it.
Yeah,
send them my way. Happy to do it.
Behind me, that's actually a T-shirt. Because the banner's too big for my little cramped area here. So
yeah. Even if you wanted to record a session while I was there, I don't know if Sandra would be available, but I'm going to be there Wednesday night through Sunday morning. So, but
what's
like a
the
Saturday
date?
night. October, what is it? October 8th, I believe. Yeah, October 8th through the 12th. So anytime during there, I will be there. And if you want to record a session live from GABF, cool. I would be happy to do that.
When did you decide you were going there?
I told you about this months ago.
I don't remember this conversation. I have no memory of this.
Yep, I'm going with Aaron and Jamie. Our yearly men's excursion.
Yes, I have no memory of this conversation, but okay.
Hey, beer.
Okay. Is that on the calendar?
Mm-hmm. Been there
You
for
lie.
several months.
I'm gonna look right now.
Go for it.
You said October what?
8th through the 12th.
12th?
8th through the 12th. Along with my flight information and everything else is there.
And if you're a
Okay.
marriage counselor, feel free to email the show ckcbpodcast@gmail.com.
And as always, if you want me to review a beer, ckcbeer@gmail.com. Send me an email. We'll get in touch with you, have you send it out to me, and I'm happy to review it on
Free
the show.
t-shirt for the first person that does that too, by the way, because it hasn't happened yet. But anyway, yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. We appreciate the hell out of it. Like, subscribe, share the show, do everything, rate us 5 stars, because we've been getting a couple low ratings just because people don't like vape hits or whatever. And yeah, like I said earlier, I did upload the wrong clip and there's nothing I can do about that. But still, we need some 5 stars to cancel out some of these low, the last 2 ratings that we've got on Apple have been 1 star because of vape hits, like I said earlier. Yeah, right? Like, where's your podcast, people? Let me
Why don't you just hit a vape while we're hitting it? You won't even
when
notice.
you have a podcast of your own and realize how much freaking work goes into putting one of these things together.
Yes.
If you like us, tell
a friend. And if you hate us, tell an enemy. And until next week, later. Because we can. Bye.